Tomorrow I'm leaving for Seattle. I'm heading off to do what's called in the Zen tradition a sesshin. The word sesshin is made up of two characters which mean, shin it means heart, mind, which alone is kind of complex to talk about. Shin, heart, mind. In Japanese, the Chinese language as well, which share this character, what we call our heart, our core, the true mind, it shares this character. It's not divided like we've made these two things, our heart and mind. Our heart is in our chest and our mind is in our head. In the Japanese language, shin, this heart-mind, this one thing. And ses means to gather together or to collect. And so in the Zen tradition, we gather together several times a year to do this practice called sesshin. And it's an intensive, week-long practice period. The tradition comes from the time of the historical Buddha Shakyamuni, who just before his awakening sat down at the foot of the Bodhi tree and said, I'm going to sit here and practice till I get this, till I figure this out. This great problem, this great matter of life and death, liberation from suffering. And it's said that it took 7 days. So this is where this tradition of 7 days of intensive practice comes from. For many of us here, I think, the idea of signing up to go and do 7 days of meditation practice might seem like a really big commitment. Maybe it's a big commitment to come out week after week to do just 3 15-minute periods of meditation. But over and over again, every week, when we stay for the tea circle and get to know one another, we go around the circle and many people talk about practice. Many people talk about the impact that just this simple 1 hour of practice has a week in their lives. Many people talk about how this program, this activity, this Tuesday night open house is like a refuge for them, that they can come to sort of de-stress and relax and clear their head for a little while. And that has a big impact on the relationships that we have and the job that we do and how we perceive and experience our life. But for the most part, many of us here go through our week and there's not so much practice. We kind of ride on the afterglow of our Tuesday community together. So I wanted to just explain that, there's an unlimited supply of that clarity, of that energy, of that transformative capacity available to you. And it's not available from the Zen Center. It's available in your own life, in your own practice. Over and over again, I remind people that so much of what we do at the Victoria Zen Center, the resources that we put online, the programs that we make available, are all aimed at helping people develop and establish regular, consistent, daily practice. So to sort of take the fluff away from Zen practice, I have to say that Zen practice is aimed uncompromisingly at awakening. Waking up in the midst of every action, every aspect of our life. It's not about relaxation. It's not about feeling better about ourselves. It's about fundamental liberation from suffering, awakening in every aspect of our lives. And this power, this capacity is available to all of us in each and every moment of our lives. And the question isn't, how do I find it? How do I get connected with it? It's how much can you take? That sounds a bit dramatic, but it's the truth. Our lives are unfolding in a dynamic activity before us every moment. And if we're truly to grasp this, if we're truly to accept this, if we're truly to manifest harmoniously with this, it's a scary thing, terrifying. Each of us has come to seek comfort in objects, the things that we have, the places that we know, the person, identity that we think we are. And throughout our lives, when we meet change, when we experience adversity, we run as quickly as we can to the things that we take as being safe, stable. The self, the familiar, our habits. This practice that we engage in on Tuesday evening is an opportunity for just an hour to shove off from the safety of shore, the known, and to allow ourselves in just this simple activity of sitting to embrace this unfolding activity before us, our lives. And we can see even in this simple activity of walking, the simple activity of chanting, of just sitting with our breath, that we don't know what to expect. Things arise, and if we're not so caught up in making plans or looking for what we expected, we can actually develop, realize, and manifest the capacity to meet them dynamically, energetically, alive. Many people respond to this practice so strongly because for the first time in their lives, they feel alive. Not just going through the motions, not just doing what comes comfortably, what's familiar, what's habitual, but by actually being present with what's taking place, we're able to feel what it is to be alive, to be intimately connected to the other people around us, to the environment that we walk through, to this world. This opportunity is always around us. But in our everyday lives, we're constantly being supported and encouraged to turn away from it. We're constantly being encouraged to take refuge in objects, in substances, in distractions of every color. We're supported by a culture, by an environment, and by relationships to turn away, to turn away from this dynamic energy, this wondrous unfolding of our lives. And so Tuesday night, we meet this group of people. We meet this practice that asks us to wake up, to come alive, feel what it is to be born into your own life. And that is transformative. And little bit by little bit, if we engage in this practice, little bit by little bit, each day of our lives, we can wake up more and more in more and more moments of our unfolding everyday life. Now we have this community of practice, the Victoria Zen Center here. We engage in practice for more and more time. We have lots of different activities where as your legs become more able to support you, and as your meditation practice opens up more so that you're more and more able to engage in this activity without fear, to embrace it. You can expand this. You can take advantage of opportunities to do this practice not just for an hour one evening, but for a few hours, or for a whole day. Or, like I'm off to do tomorrow, for 7 days. An environment is created by a collaborating group of people. A structure is created which allows us to completely throw ourselves into this roiling, unpredictable, wondrous, awesome manifestation, dynamic activity of life together. And our only job is to be there for a whole week, just to keep coming back to be there. And if you think that an evening of practice once a week, if you can feel the transformative capacity of one evening a week, I can tell you that being immersed in this dynamic activity for a week, with everybody's energy bent on this experience, every aspect of form aimed at opening us up, breaking down our shells, helping us to cast away our structures and our habits. It's a powerful opportunity for tremendous transformation. So, I hope I haven't scared the hell out of everybody. But it's very important for me that you all understand that this meditation practice that we have, our culture, science, business, is beginning to accept meditation more and more. I'm seeing more and more articles on the relaxation, stress relief power of meditation. But this practice's capacity is not limited to making you a more efficient machine, cog in the wheel of money making. It's not just limited to making you a more relaxed person so that you can continue doing the same things that you've always been doing a little bit more stress-free. It can do that, absolutely. And if that's what you're interested in, no problem. We've got it covered. But beyond that, this practice has the capacity to completely transform your life. This practice has the capacity to help you to awaken to your own true nature. this realization that fundamentally all things in this vast cosmos are one. It's not just an idea. This is something that you can realize in each moment of your life. And it's my hope that you'll take advantage of everything that's offered in practice, everything that's offered in our community. It's my hope that you'll take advantage of this opportunity for awakening that is presenting itself before you.